how we work and how we operate. It must make business sense on our side.
Let me get to you, because I understand that you have retired, you're 50-0, you walked away from the game, you made a lot of money, but you did make news sometime last year when people were talking about you returning. Now you're 43 years old, okay? I want to know where your head is at as it pertains to you.
Well, whatever reason it is that they want to see you, that reason is why you. It's not that you just deserve the money because it's hard to do.
Right.
I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that.
El hombre que una vez autodenominó el mídia de todos los tiempos ahora enfrenta seriosos desafios. Floyd Mayweather está ahora envuelto en una gran controversia, enfrentando accusations de estafas y estando al borde de un colapso financiero total.
The hard way. You know, I'm a kid that came from poverty. I can remember being a kid living in Jersey with my mother. 7 of us living in a 1-bedroom. You know, no lights, no heat. Never cried, never complained. Just worked hard to get to where I got to in life. It's been hard.
Cuando Floyd hizo la transition de Pretty Boy Floyd a Money Mayweather, su imagen cambió. Y no era solo un boxeo de habilidoso con una defensa inigualable, se convirtió en un símbolo autoproclamado de riqueza y éxito. Su enfoque pasó de la grandeza boxística ostenta sus riquezas, haciendo del dinero su objetivo final.
You want to look at guys that never got hit. Floyd went his entire career, got hit hard like 3 or 4 times, ever.
Yeah. When he fought Diego Chico Corrales, which was one of my favorite all-time fights, you know, because it was like, there was nothing for Diego to hit, and then all of a sudden he just bounced in his face, bop, left hook from like 5 feet away. That's a Mayweather that I think nobody could possibly maybe beat.
That was the Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather.
Pretty Boy
that
Floyd.
Was before he became money.
Se reinventó a sí mismo como una marca, ostentando riqueza y lujo. El enfoque cambió de sus inigualables habilidades ofensivas en el ring a viva un estilo de vida fastuoso, ganando millones por pelea y convirtiéndose en uno de los atletas más ricos del mundo.
It's just complete genius.
Yes.
First of all, from just changing his style, right? He broke his hands a lot. So when he was younger, they called him Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
And then he changed his name to Money. And when he changed his name to Money, he turns heel.
Yeah.
He became like this guy and everybody wanted to see him get beat.
Yeah.
And he's the most unhittable guy in the history of the sport.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's interesting when fighters figure out ways to do that too, like what Floyd is doing. What Floyd is doing is so interesting. He retires from fighting and he says, I'll just start boxing people who have no chance. Hey.
Floyd Mayweather comenzó su carrera ganando 3 millones por pelea, pero no fue hasta que tomó la audaz decisión de independizar su estatus financiero se disparó. Esta decisión lo encaminó a ganar miles de millones, transformándolo en el atleta mejor pagado del mundo. Su independencia de los promotores y su enfoque calculado para manejar su carrera fuera de las normas tradicionales del boxeo le permitieron crear un legado financieramente incomparable.
Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in the world, and you won't believe why. Early in his career, Floyd partnered with a fight promoter where he was making $3 million a fight, but he wasn't satisfied. He thought he could make way more with pay-per-view and wanted out of his contract. So he bet on himself and paid his manager $750,000 to get out. And you won't believe what happened next, so drop a follow. This would prove to be a huge win for Floyd, and after going independent, he made nearly $1 billion and became the highest paid athlete in the world.
Sin embargo, con la llegada de su fortuna alegrón tensions personals. El padre de Mayweather reveló que antes de que Floyd alcanzara su enorme riqueza, nunca habían tenido un desacuerdo importante. Sin embargo, después de que Floyd ganó millones, su relación comenzó a deteriorarse. A medida de que Floyd comenzó a gastar imprudentemente, cox, edificios y otros gastos lujosos se convirtieron en su obsesión, y es cambio en las prioridades generó tensión entre él y su padre.
We have never had an argument in our life, me and him. Then we had an argument on what was the name of it? HBO. We was on HBO. Then another time we argued over by the car. I'm saying, man, what is all this about, man? I'm just saying, you know, and we never had no argument. All of a sudden, it is or it ain't. Sometimes, you know, hey, when people get, it ain't about me training or anything like that. People get money, man. Things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever. Father, mother, brother, sister, name it. You know, if sometimes when people get money.
A medida que cresce Lara Keza de Floyd, también lo hace su arrogancia. Es cambio en su personalidad le hizo perder varias relaciones cercanas, incluidas las de amigos de toda la vida. Mike Tyson criticó abiertamente la arrogancia de Mayweather, sugiriendo que no había nada admirable en ella. Tyson señaló que Floyd necesitaba volver a la realidad y controlar su ego, especially considerando su inmensa fortuna.
How do you feel about Floyd, though?
Huh?
How do you feel about
Awesome
Floyd?
fighter, great fighter. You know, he's a little too into himself. You know, he should be. I was the same way too, but you have to come to reality some way. You have to bring your head down to God. We're nothing to be fucking arrogant. You expect us to be ignorant and arrogant. Look where we came from.
That's why I asked the question earlier about you mentoring fighters, because I feel like Floyd looked at you growing up like every other fighter. And the persona and the lifestyle was like, growing up in the hood, we looked at it like, that's Mike Tyson. We see the cars, the jewelry, the flair. Like you was a movie star. You was a hero.
La estrella amistad de Floyd con el rapero 50 Cent fue uno de los más comentados y en la industria del entretenimiento. Pero así como la fortuna de Floyd aumentó, también lo hicieron las gritas y en su amistad. Según 50 Cent, la obsesión de Floyd con el dinero se volvió insoportable. Floyd supuestamente le dijo a 50 centavos que nunca le pidió ayuda, a pesar de que habían compartido un fuerte vínculo a lo largo de los años. Esta ruptura se atribuyó en gran medida a la fijación de Floyd con Lara Keza, sin tener en cuenta su legado y las personas que habían estado con él desde el principio.
Sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you had already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail. Right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants, to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, what a prize fighter fight for? And I'm like, and he said, the prize. So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. He doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Floyd también perdió uno de sus protegidos más prometedores, el boxeador Gervonta Tank Davis, quien se sintió explotado por Mayweather. Tank reveló que Floyd siempre lo ponía en una posición en la que constantemente dependería de Mayweather. A pesar de las ganancias que Davis había obtenido de sus peleas, Floyd no le pegó adecuadamente, lo que llevó a Tank a romper lazos con él.
Oh, I'm gonna be back asking you for money. Nah, why would I do that? I'll give her a couple dollars. I'll take some, whatever, whenever you need some money. You feel me? But when I was legit to be able to get her out the hood, that's what I did. Like, I had to learn that coming up, that like, a motherfucker will put you in a position to always need him. And like, to the world, it might look like that's a great person. But like, to somebody to understand, you understand like what Kendrick Lamar say? Nah, that's a master manipulator. Like, cause if I gotta put you in a position that they always need me, you always gotta, I'm gonna just give you crumbs. And we hear it a lot. Like, if I'm a, like, what's $1,000? You know what I'm trying to say? But to you who don't have it, is a lot. And I know you gonna go to war for that $1,000. So me understanding that, $48 of plot power. I'ma always feed you a little bit so you can be excited and do just enough to come back around.
But I ain't really just put me in a position to be able to, you know, make my own thing. And I don't want to say no name, but they wind up catching it. People that's over top of me. I mean, like, I was signed to him, and Floyd signed to him. So the person that, he said, okay, cool, I see what's going on. That's when you start taking over.
Tank tambien menciono la incapacidad de Floyd para manejar cualquiera que lo superara. Que suponía celoso de los boxeadores que ganaban más o que han visto como más grandes que él. Incluso afirmando que Muhammad Ali no era mejor que él. 10. La arrogancia de Mayweather no se detuvo en sus relations. Comenzó ostenta su riqueza al mundo. Esto solo alimentó el desdén del público hacia él. Su hábito de exhibir su lujoso estilo de vida, junto con sus comentarios controvertidos, lo convirtieron en uno de los boxeadores más odiados de la historia. Sus comentarios incluyen su creencia de que era el mejor independientemente de los logros de los demás. Solo sirvieron para intensificar la percepción negativa que el público tenía de él.
I'm going to say this. Okay. Out of all these guys in the history of boxing, yes, I've accomplished more than every fighter in the history of boxing. Okay, Ali. Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights. Yes. And if we really tell the truth, if we really tell the truth, well, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell the truth. What's the heavyweight guy that Ali fought 3 times? Ken Norton, actually. Ken Norton. Ken Norton really beat Ali all 3 times. Go back and look at the fights. I mean, we just telling the truth. And I love Ali, of course.
Debido a su actitud descarada o a su extravagant exhibición de riqueza, Floyd se convirtió en el boxeador más odiado en la historia del boxeo. Su negativa involucrarse en el drama, a pesar de su comportamiento, solo aumentó la animosidad. A menudo habla de cómo no le importaba la opinión pública que continuaría peleando, en exhibiciones o en combates tradicionales. Esta indiferencia las críticas que enfrentaba lo hizo más divisivo que nunca, muchos fanáticos comentaristas cuestionaron sus motivaciones.
In all of my career, I have never encountered an athlete who, number 1, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number 2, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much. But the way he just blithely scoffed at Ali's accomplishments, it wasn't just disrespectful, Stephen A. Smith. It was flat out blasphemous. Now, to your credit, you did go back at him. You can't, okay, and to Floyd's credit, you know what? Early in Ali's career, he did get dropped. Not by Burt Cooper, by Henry Cooper in London. He fought him twice in London. And he did get dropped, and he got right back up and won the...
Después de retiras del boxeo profesional, Floyd recurrió a las peleas de exhibición, pero estos eventos recibieron muchas críticas. Muchos creen que Floyd estaba empeñando su legado al enfrentarse a oponentes menos conocidos solo por el dinero.
Like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches, this watch goes for $2 million. And
my
like,
most expensive watch that I currently own is $18 million. One watch.
And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes. Yeah, he creates envy, and you want him to lose, but he's not gonna.
Sus peleas de exhibición se hicieron famosas por sus saca cortos, while los críticos sugirieron que sus peleas se trataban más de asegurar el mayor porcentaje de las ganancias que de brinda a los fanáticos combates competitivos o significativos.
Floyd, what does it mean for you to go out on your terms, not on anybody else's terms, but you to make the decision, you know what, this is it, I don't care what all you guys say, I'm out of here, I'm done?
I mean, I think I think I just had a game plan. I had a brilliant game plan. The game plan was to be very outspoken. You know, I was born with personality. I was born with charisma. Speak my mind. Speak from the heart. You know, I don't hate or dislike anyone. But I want to go out there, you know, and just do what I have to do inside that square circle. Choose a tremendous team on the outside that's going to help me take things to the next level, and that's what I did.
La reputation de Floyd por explotar los combates de exhibition se vio aún más dana de por las accusations de que no pegó a sus oponentes las cantidades prometidas. Boxeadores como Deji y Logan Paul afirmaron que nunca recibieron el pago completo que se les permitió por sus combates de exhibition con Floyd.
But you know what it is? I think obviously with Floyd, he gets the biggest percentage of the purse, isn't it?
Yeah, but he can still get the biggest percentage of the purse.
Yeah, but Ricky Hatton's gonna want more. He'll want more. He'll want more.
He'll want more.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when they fought in their heyday, Floyd got more.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So, you know what I'm saying?
No, but Floyd wants like 95% more. 90% more. You know what I'm saying? It's not like...
He's like 95-5. Yeah, that's how he likes to do it, innit? Because I'm not gonna lie, if Floyd fought Ricky, both of them now, catch weight 154, O2 Arena, it will sell out.
It will sell out. It will sell out.
A medalla de que para el tiempo. La carrera de Floyd y el revuelo que lo rodea comenzaron a desvanecerse lentamente. Una vez una figura dominante en el mundo del boxeo, sus acciones fuera del ring comenzaron a eclipsar sus logros dentro del ring. Su participación en una estafa de $42 millones while la creación evidencia de que sus tratos financieros no eran tan limpios como parecen empanaron aún más su imagen. Sergio informed de que Floyd Mayweather estaba atrapado en Dubai debido a deudas impagas, lo que resalta la gravedad de sus problemas financieros.
See a lot of people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going,
now,
I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights, and you make them. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters. They don't have to wait for. That was the big problem in the past, is that these boxing promoters would come in and they wouldn't make as much money as they thought they were going to do, so they would stiff the fighters and not pay the guys. And that's why these regulations are in place in these different states.
Mayweather trabalhó duro para cultivar una imagen como el atleta medio pagado del mundo. Se jactó de sus ganancias, afirmando que nadie más en la historia de los deportes podía igualar su éxito financiero.
There was some drama going on about Floyd Mayweather being stuck in Dubai. However, that man was at Game 5 of the Clippers game. He's claiming that he is stuck in Dubai because there's debts that he has to pay off and they're not letting him leave. And we're sitting at Game 5 and I look over and I'm like, dude, that's Floyd Mayweather. Royce takes a video of Floyd Mayweather at the Clippers game, posts it on his TikTok. It goes viral. He posts 2 videos, both go viral. And the comments, nobody is believing him. They're like, that's not really Floyd. That's a clone. Floyd's stuck in Dubai. And the crazy thing was, usually when you're at these games, they'll have like, oh, special guest, celebrity of the night. They didn't show Floyd on the thing. So, but we have it on camera. Go check out Royce's videos if you got.
Why hasta acquiesce report. Numbers vimos en un siguiente video.